Hello and good morning, everyone. How is everybody doing? I am doing this session in a very well. You expected me to be that weak person after 7 days, right? Yes. So here I am on day 7 of my water fast, and I'm so happy and delighted to meet you today. This is another awesome miracle time. We have run through like 7 weeks, and this is the 8th week of the special edition of Miracle Time that we have been doing. And I'm so excited to meet all of you on this session. And I'm doing this as a special edition because I want to give you some exciting learnings I've got out of this 7 days of water fast, making the impossible possible. Not that I've never done it before, I've done it once, and so I have much more things to share with you. And I want to make it a very meaningful journey for everyone. So I have been Facebooking and putting it up on LinkedIn, this learnings that I've been getting. Nothing like sharing with you live. So, this half an hour we're going to be spending not only playing the miracle game, will not be missing that out, but also doing a lot more introspection to what is possible in life. And that's what we'll be doing today. So, as we smoothly go through this journey of really manifesting miracles in our life, because every second is a miracle. If you're online, say hello, and I'd love to hear what you have to interact on, because you may be doing other kind of fasting or other distinctions that you've got out of going through such fast in your life. So that's what we will be doing today. So let's once again reiterate that this program that we are putting together is a project of Go Global Business School, and I'm so delighted that we are able to present to you for months these sessions every Sunday. And we know a lot of people are tuning in live as well as on the recorded version because we get so many feedback when we are doing this. So as we talk about the miracle game, and I've shared with you many times, the miracle game is an ebook that I launched in 2013. And in this book, I channeled a lot of, or rather, I would say a lot of information was channeled to me as an upliftment for a daily upliftment as we compiled it together, because it was something that was very close to my heart. Going through a lot of challenges in life, it was one of my lowest time in 2011, 12, as much as it was also most adventurous time in my life. So I managed to, instead of Facebook it in a way that people will be looking at me as a victim, I decided to do it as an aha moment. And it was later compiled into a gamified ebook. So we're going to play this game book. And today, for a change, I am going to be choosing the number. And with that, I want to very quickly, as everybody are also looking at it, thank you so much for tuning in. I want to very look at what the game book can offer to us today and what message they have, what message we are going to receive today. As always, we say this is not a tarot card. It is really going into our deep sense of knowing and seeking for an answer that it will be generated to us in a very powerful way. So everybody, you can also play with me, and what number shows up, you can put into your chat box, and I'll be happy to share that number with you later. So everybody, take a deep breath in, and as you ground yourself, what is that question that you have lingering in your heart or your mind, or a challenge you're facing right now? Just tune into that. And as you tune in and think of a number, and this number will be the one that we will be opening. And today for me, it is number 3. So let's look at number 3. And you can put in what number you have in mind. As we say always, it is about tuning in to your own sense of clarity and power, And you can put in the number that you want. I will be happy to screenshot the number and put it up for you later on in the chat box. So today, this is my number, and I have worked on it, and a question that is close to my heart that I've asked, and this is my answer. And it may relate to you as well, because we are watching it. It is also a message for you. So it says, dreams keep us alive. Realize the dreams. Lots of heartfelt efforts are required. Ultimately, it is those heartfelt efforts, the journey we embark on, that is much more exciting and meaningful than the realization of the dreams. So, this is very, very close to my heart, because at the end of the day, this is something that I relate to so much. Everybody will ask me, my partners and associates, they always ask me, Azeeza, what is this? You're not sleeping. Do you ever sleep? And many people that I work with, they think that I don't sleep at all, because I'm at different time zones working with my US team, as our US team, as well as our Singapore team and India team. So time zones are all everywhere. So they always wonder, do I ever sleep? So I always believe that for a long time, it is staying awake to live my dream. So dreams keep us alive, and that's what has been happening for me in all these years. And what I love about this statement is about the heartfelt efforts we put in, and it's the journey itself and not the destination. That's what I will be sharing with you today, because at the end of the day, it is a journey that I've enjoyed every moment in the last 7 days, getting into huge distinctions while working on what is possible for our business. And so this is something very important, what I learned at the very first stage of my life. To grow yourself, to grow your business, we evolve or we dissolve. So which is the choice we make? So I've always been someone who has been at it for a long time, and it is something that is very close to my heart, because at the end of the day, and a lot of things are close to my heart, more so for growing and nurturing, and the human spirit being always in the light. That's what is always inspiring for me. And thank you so much for those of you who joined in. Welcome, and peace greetings to you, and Madam Mariam, as well as Dr. Serge. Thank you for tuning in. I think some of you have not said your hello to me, and please do that. And thank you so much for this miraculous journey that we are on together. So today's topic on this journey we're embarking on, how exciting, just relate to this. It is something so close to our heart. The journey that we are in is ultimately the journey that we need to really anchor for ourselves to become much more stronger in life. So let's look at today's most important conversation. And as we talk about this topic, what is it that I have got out of the 7 days of water fast? And for many people's mind, this is impossible. How can she survive, or anyone survive, on just water without eating any food? Do I have temptation for food? You bet. And that's also authentic. I mean, I'm telling you that every day I struggled looking at food, smelling food, because I cook for the family, and it happened to be functions that I was at, and I was drinking water while everybody was having sumptuous meals. So this is something that we want to tune in to a very interesting perspective of what are we really focusing on in life, and what does life have available for us. That is what I would love to share with you. So what happened on the first day of my fast is something I want to reflect on, and I will talk about the 7 days, today being the 7th day, and I have a huge distinction as I got up this morning. So the day one was about reflection of the dichotomy of life. And while one part of me was creating a sumptuous meal for my son, here I was eating the simplest meal on earth that many, many people in the world do, drinking water. And that was what really discovered in me the determination that I was having, while looking at the leftover pasta, was, have I lost my determination? Am I going to take a bite of it? But what is it that I have intended? with the 7 days. And that's something that I want to reflect on as well. When I started the 7 days, even though I've done it before in 2016, I did it with a lot of intentions. At the same time, today, this time when I did it, it was a whole different level of intention. And it was a lot about all the struggles I've been facing over the last years. And together with that, the success Almighty has blessed upon me has been the other part of the conversation. So, do you talk about the failures and upsets and all of that? Or do you talk about the success that we are facing in life and all that has been manifested as we move on? So this is a dichotomy we all live in life, don't we? Do share your views on what I'm sharing, because it's so important that we can reflect on these important elements that I went through in these 7 days. And so, in this, on the first day itself, I started having my headache. And you know, when people say the headache is always telling you that your mind is noisy. So I've always had it that your disease of the mind causes the disease in the body. So my headache was telling me a huge, huge thing. Other than the normal thing that people say about stress, for me, it was telling me that I am too much in my head, because I started experiencing a bit of like something like a gastric pain. So I was so worried that I will get back my gastric pain because I'm not going to be eating. So I was telling myself that, and I was so in my head with it. So I started having headaches. So I did some breathing exercises, and my intention for the 7 days was to surrender and follow and allow flow to happen. That was my intention for the 7 days, and like really surrender. When I talk about surrendering, people always know about surrendering, right? We all know we need to surrender. But what happened was, am I really surrendering to life? Am I really giving myself that joy and peace of letting myself be in a flow of allowing things to happen? Because I feel that sometimes, or most of the time, I'm getting in the way of what needs to be done. Do you relate to what I'm saying? So this is what it was on the first day, and it was so miraculous and magical. It is, that's where it started off with. And on the second day, the reflection was even more interesting, because we were going out with the family. We were having a shopping for my daughter's wedding. And in that, we were all ladies going out in the evening because some of them were working. So we decided to go in the evening. Guess what happened? After the shopping, I was like, okay, I'm taking a grab bag. They said, no, we're going for dinner. I'm like, dinner? I know we're going to be in that journey, right? So then I was like, okay, this is another test. And it was a test, all right. I have to show you this picture that was in front, and I Facebooked it. So I want to share it with you. Just a moment. It's so hilarious, because when I looked at it, it was so interesting. I think I'll screenshot it and share it with you. And it was so interesting because everybody was ordering their food at our Little India. What do you call that? Little India, which is our favorite spot in Singapore for shopping for Indian, jewelries and all of that. So what happened was, while we were doing, after the shopping, the nearest is Woodlands, Madras Woodlands. For those who know, it is famous for its vegetarian food, and it was so crazy. Everybody ordered their favorite meal, and here I was doing what? Drinking my water, and that was completely ridiculous for anybody to recognize. Look at that picture. It was ridiculous. Everybody were eating their sumptuous meals, and here I was having my water. So think of the temptation that was going on for me. It was crazy. And especially when my mom was nagging, oh, sorry, I would say that. She was very concerned that I was having water. So she was like, can you have something to eat, maybe something light? And then my sister was so kind. She went like, oh, please, can you have maybe a mango lassi? It would be lighter on you. I'm like, no, I'm not having any of those stuff. I will stick with my water. So this gave a little interesting conversation around my distinction and a struggle of the mind yet again. My headache has reduced, but my mom telling me that, I'm doing something that's not right, and, it will affect me, kind of triggered me a little bit. And just to recall that when I did the detox, it was about the commitment to my body and taking care of my health and myself. And it was an important detox that I have vouched on to ensure that I get the best of life. And so this is where it is. When I have to say that I was also keeping my mask on all the time. My sister and my daughter was asking me, is that to protect you against temptation to eat in case you put something in? So thanks to the mask anyway. So this was very interesting, because in the second day it was always about to get better over time, and what I will resist persist. I was so afraid that I'll be going for dinner with everyone. I ended up on the table with everyone. The other thing is the noise that can distract but not divert us from what we need to do in life. So this is an important lesson that came out for me, because at the end of the day, it was a distraction that always is there for us to look at. But at the same time, it was also important for us to, for me to look at, am I allowing it to divert me and go off course my conversation with myself and the way that I live my life? Yes, temptations at its peak. That's right. Thank you for sharing that, Madam Mariam. Yes, I'll put that up. Yes, temptation at its peak. You're absolutely right. And on day 3, what happened to me was also the headaches kind of minimized and almost disappeared. And I know that, because every day I do a lot of prayers and meditations. This is part of the 7 days. Not that I don't do every day. I do every day, but there's additional exercises and stretching exercises, actually. The exercises that get me to detach my body. So I will feel as if like I'm so stretched that my body kind of disconnects. So this is a powerful exercise. And at night, I do breathing exercises that I feel, or waves of water coming in to flush me out. So that's a very powerful journey I've been in with that. And again, on the third day, while the headaches got minimized and everything, I actually put alarm clock for my water meals, just to let you know, because I need to drink only 2 liters. I cannot drink anything more than 2 liters. So because of that, I was very conscious. So I was worried that I will not be remembering. So I put 10 alarm clocks to have 1 cup of 200 milliliters of water every day, and I need to sip it, not gulp it, because very important for me to know was the way that I sip my water was very important. The way that I sip it is very important. And I have been recently gulping my water and, rushing for time, which is not good for the body at any time in our life. And so is eating food in a rush. So I was truly, truly on the third day enjoying my day 3. And I want to show, let me see if I can show you this screen, because it was beautiful to have. I don't know. Right, leave it. Let me see if it can show you. No, it doesn't. Can you see that? Oh, you can't see that. Let's drop this. It's on my LinkedIn. You'll see the picture of the water. And what I got out of the day 3 was very magical and very, very beautiful, because on day 3, it was all about living in the moment, really enjoying every sip of the water, which got me to stay calm and drink water and enjoy the process. That means that the patience was getting at its, really, that was the day 3, that I started enjoying the water. And every day I'm drinking water right now with such joy and peace. And the sweetness of the water is so amazing. You should definitely, go into that space. You'll understand what I mean. And do write it down if you understand what I mean. It's so beautiful. And then on day 4, what happened to me was yet another interesting process. I was having I got inspired on day 4 to work on the stomach pain. Remember, I said I felt like it was a gastric pain that was going on for me. I have to thank Monica Wise. She is the founder of Heart Sanctuary. She has thought, I was going through some sessions with her on family constellation. She told me how I can tune in and do this on my own. And I have done a couple of times. And today on day 4, I was going through the family, the constellation work all by myself, and powerful ancestral healing was happening for me in the process, and it was so beautiful. And I came to realize that the deeper we work on ourselves, the more the distinction that comes out of life for us. And I want to also share with you the distinctions I got. It was so empowering and energizing, because at the end of the day, it was the distinctions that I got out of the session, which I thought, I was like literally thinking, sorry, just let me remove that. No, it is not what I need to do with my life, or, definitely what I'm doing is already good enough. And I have done so much of healing on myself. Everything is perfect. So that kind of conversation was going on for me. And when I did the ancestral healing, I was really, really inspired to see what happened. And you will see this, that when I did the ancestral healing, I was very, very thrilled to see the results, because it kind of concluded, not only did I do the ancestral healing on a process that works on a deeper level of releasing of what I thought is already healed, I also topped it up with the womb healing affirmations that Dr. Tarshini Nirmala Raja from Australia taught us, and she is an expert in these womb healing and womb blessing work. And also, of course, I loved it to include my Ho'oponopono processes with the music at the back. And I literally burned out the words that doesn't serve me anymore. And this is a very, very powerful conclusion I had for the day. I have to tell you that the words, if you see on the screen, that was healing out of, I set out to heal. If you can see it on a closer perspective, let me see if I can make it closer for you to see, right? These were the words: fear of lack, not that the lack is real, right? Fear of lack, false evidence appearing real, fear of lack, fear. And then jealousy and abandonment. These are words that I thought I've worked on already for so long, yet they showed up, and I was so blessed that they show up again so that I can heal them and heal out of them, using Ho'oponopono and all of that. And I got affirmations that is so empowering. And I have never got this level of distinction on my affirmations. And I will also post on the group, which I've actually shared with many people, on the financial abundance, unconditional love, unconditionally loved when I'm feeling jealous. So fear of financial abundance for the fear of lack, and for the fear and the abandonment conversation I was having, it was about independence and spiritual moksham, which is so powerful for me actually when I look at all of that. So what I got out of the 3 affirmations is very interesting for me. One was, I wrote 3 sentences of affirmations for myself that I read every day right now. I create financial abundance for everybody every day, including myself. I am loved and supported unconditionally. I love and support others unconditionally. I have to say, for those of you who know this statement, it is a statement that we do it regularly in one of our programs. And the third one, independence and freedom is my way of life. The feeling of being free, not that you want to create circumstances to feel a victim and controlled, but the independence and freedom is my way of life, and spiritual moksha, where there is always detachment in attachment. So we are always in the space of detachment. That's why we say attachment in detachment, right? And so it is. So it was a very powerful day for me with so many healing. And I really got a lot of value in that, because I thought about it in terms of conscious leadership, how we need to really anchor the conscious leadership in us to be aware and conscious is the only way we can go through any processes and come out, or any journey in our business, in our career, in our family, in our relationships, come out of it in a more empowered and evolved manner. And this also includes my understanding on how we can anchor the feminine energy, because all these healings that was divine and liberating for me also encompass my feminine energy healing. Because while I was working on the womb energy, I literally put my hand on my heart and one hand on my navel and below my sacral chakra area, and I was literally coming in with confirmation messages. So this is how powerful it can get. So, and that's how I get to align myself with the feminine leadership. That was kind of day 4, and day 5 went on extremely well because I was into meetings and my energy was much higher. And with day 5, that was a important conversation that happened between me and one of my business team member, and it was very interesting. It was about me getting all frustrated and worked up and getting into emotions, and that was something that triggered me to ask myself, for how long more will I continue with, how long more is this going to happen? How many of you have relate to that? We always think of how long more is this going to go on? How long more must I wait for things to happen? This has been a conversation of being impatient that leads us to be emotionally distressed and upset. So today on day 5, I celebrated and observed my patience. As I started feeling impatient and losing my cool, I was reminded of the commitment to myself for healing. So I handled the situation at a whole new level, I have to say, because when I got into that space, I I went into the space of patience as a practice in trust. I recollected back my commitment to healing at physical and metaphysical level, and both of hunger was relieved through the mind and stretching exercises as always, and the trust and belief in the end of the result. In the end of result is the motivation factor for me, right? So the belief of what I want to achieve at the end of the day, that was my driving factor, and my commitment to see it through was one of the most important things. So for me, I concluded the day by having to have trust in what we are committed to. Trust in what we are committed to. Remember to that. Why I want to practice patience? Because I want to practice trust in what I am committed to, and create that as the highest virtue of demonstrating trust, which consistently is being at it till it's done. That is the only way through anything. So when I am committed to anything, and if all of you who are watching this, when you are committed to anything, it's the trust in that commitment that will keep our patience going and keep us impatient, right? To practice that trust in us so that we can see through the journey. So this was a very empowering conversation for me. As we, in our business, it was about next level of growth, and we have been doing some magical, I would say most miraculous way of reaching out to thousands of people in the last 8 months without financial inputs. I'm talking about no financial, advertisements and everything, but we have garnered a lot of visibility of our work, and it was very empowering for us. Now in December, we're having the next level of massive outreach, which is going to go in multiple folds. So this is something that I so anchor in my body and in my life. So that was something really triggered me to look at on day 5. And day 6 yesterday was so beautiful because it was being conscious of my body. I came to realize, as much as, we're talking about physical and metaphysical conversations I was having with myself, the ultimate inspiration I got about the body and how, going through the process, this water fast was not about losing weight. Let me tell you, water fast, I have lost weight, probably about 4 to 5 kg, but that doesn't mean it is the situation that you will be you know, that is not meant to be the thing, because once I start eating, I will be putting on some weight back. If I go into another binging spree, then I will be putting on a lot of weight. So what happens is, to become aware that when I started this journey, it was about surrendering and allowing flow to happen. Remember? So that was my intention. So it was more than about the body, as much as I was feeling a little bit upset of my gaining weight processes. But I reminded myself that it was also about the mind and the strengthening of the mind and the spirit of what I'm up to in my life. So this was very powerful for me as I got gentle with my body. I was very, very gentle with my body and reminding myself and to slow down my movement. And I've also planned for a health screening, which is long due next week. So getting committed to my body and my health state, because this is our temple, right? It's a very important understanding of where we are. It's a focus on our body and to love our body. And that was the important part of my conversation, and allowing healing to happen and honoring the body for what it has. You know that our body is the most complex machine in the world. I mean, like, nobody can, decipher everything at one time. People get specialized in different areas, but it's a whole complex machine that we are in. So how much more value can we create for ourselves? And one of the conversations we're having, Sadhguru said in one of the videos, he said, this thing is so helpless. If we don't support our body, who is going to support our body? So we are responsible in taking care of our body in such a high level. And I got it so strongly. And that was also one of the reasons I decided to go on the detox. I wanted to allow myself to support myself with my body. And, it was so powerful for me. It's like, you're helpless. When somebody hits you or somebody's at you, you can run to survive, right? But what happens if we abuse ourselves, hitting ourselves, or some people go through these suicidal attempts, God forbid, and all of those conversations, you are incurring stress on this body that is the temple that is given to us by Almighty. So how much can we be responsible and be a humane person to this helpless thing that we are? So that is a very powerful revelation for me, experiencing it. And I ended the day with a very important process that I wanted to do for a few weeks now: cord cutting exercises with an online video on YouTube. I don't mind sharing it in the link, on unwanted attachments to issues and people. Unwanted attachments, even with my mom, even with my business partners, even with situations, my family members. I went through a cord cutting process. The people stay, the unwanted attachments of fear and doubt and resentment kind of gets cut off in the energy space. So I completed the session with a day with that, and it was so powerful. It was almost like 1 hour plus I was at it, and actually it's a 3-hour exercise I will continue doing today. So today, day 7, and I'm going to complete it in a couple of minutes. Day 7 has been really, really empowering for me. It is teaching me how to be myself and share myself with everybody in the most authentic and real and authentic in a way, because some of the things I did this week, which was also I thought I would share with you, was sharing myself in the most, you say, without any shields and without any kind of restrictions of showing myself as who I am and who I am not. And it's okay for people to see it and judge it, and I don't have any judgments of their judgments too. At the end of the day, it is me and how I see myself, and how I have learned so many things in life. And I today I saw a video on YouTube about this Irani women dancing on exercise. Actually, it's like a Zumba thing. It was very interesting for me. And I feel I get drawn to Arabic culture. I get drawn to Chinese culture. I get drawn to Indian culture. So people don't understand me because I am of that nature. So this is a journey of self-discovery for me, because I realized, I found out 2 years back, my grandparent, my great-grandfather came from Yemen, settled in or rather Middle East, settled in India. And so my father came from India. All my life, imagine all your life, you grow up thinking you're an Indian, and then you're told that no, you have Middle Eastern blood. I mean, of course, many Muslims say that they have heritages there, but I didn't expect it like this close, like great grandfather. You relate to what I'm saying? So this was a huge revelation for me. So many of us live our life thinking that we are this person, but we grow to evolve and we go into this journey of discovery of ourselves. As I said at the beginning, to evolve is the only way out of any situation. If not, we just dissolve, be it in business, be it in life, in relationships. That's the case in everything. So when we come across any difficult conversation, this is what it is. So what happened to me in the last 1 week, one of the very daring and never done before exercises, and I did a video on it and I put it up on Facebook, was the shame I had about my tongue. I'm showing you my tongue. I have never done it before, not even to my family members, because I was so ashamed of my tongue that has been, interesting. It was infected with fungus since my birth, but not the infectious fungus, all right? So you know that, it doesn't spread to others. So it's a very interesting life I've been leading. My children know about it. So imagine what kind of chaos I would have gone through in childhood and everything when everybody go, all of that. And I can't do any of those. So, and when people ask you to stick out your tongue, you will be so ashamed and you'll say, no, I can't and I don't want, or maybe I'll go like that. So it's a very, very hard opening journey for me. And I'm sharing with you right now as live as well, because opening myself up to the kind of shame and guilt people go through are differing from people to people. And sometimes we don't even know why we are going through this. At the same time, you know that you are divinely guided. So this is the moment for us to come together and relate to this. And I have to tell you how I heal out of my tongue. You can look at that video and I maybe post it in the group, in the chat box. You can look at it. It was a born condition that I worked on myself without medical intervention. And every time I go through this kind of fasting, which is the healing of the stomach, right? I get healed. But now this one, I have been having it healed out of it with Almighty's grace, with divine intervention for months right now. And I'm so happy and fulfilled that, that I'm able to experience this in my life. And I continue to pray for everybody's love, peace, and joy. I know this is kind of dragged a little bit, 10 minutes now. And I am so happy that you are watching this. And even if you're watching the recording, this 7 days of water fast has been the most magical moment in my life, because it showed me that, when we are talking about the impossible becoming possible, many people doubt us. They put on judgments on us that if you have done it once, so what? You can't do it right now, or you are not able to do it right now. That is not true. And when people tell us, it's actually a message for us to remind ourselves what we are capable of and how we can recreate what we want again and again and again in life, because we have already done it, right? So that is the confidence we need to anchor, and that confidence will help us to grow multifold. And that's the only way out of anything, because from a homemaker, I started working on the training business, and I started working on creating pools of trainers that's going in multiple folds, and also on the kind of financial abundance that's being created with shareholdings in my company right now. The company's worth more than $3 million in share value. I am really, really blessed and thrilled to see that this kind of asset has showed up in our company, in our business, and we are very grateful for everybody who has shared the journey with me, and for those who have been part of the journey in any part of my life. Even for just one day, I want to give you a lot of love and gratitude, and blessings be with you, where Almighty is guiding us all to move forward. And I know that till now, anybody that I've met, they have been touched by me. They only have good, positive vibes about me for what I have touched their heart for. Whatever else that showed up for them, it was their own stories that they built upon. So I'm so happy that I'm able to impact people while I impact myself. So it was more about impacting myself that led me to impact others. So this is where we need to be functioning from. For me, it is a journey that reinforced today that even I've done it before, and this time I am doing it at a whole new level. I didn't do any Facebook Live, I didn't have any channel that I was able to share. So this is it. This is where we need to operate from, making the impossible possible. It may be impossible to others, but never to you when you believe it can be done. So let's demonstrate impossibilities with the mission and the strength and the trust of possibilities in our life. Have a blessed week, everyone. Look forward to seeing you next week. Peace, greetings.